homeschool friends. Ashley here with Crazy Brave Homeschool. This is our third year homeschooling. I have a second grader and a TKer, and on this channel, that's all we talk about. Lots and lots of homeschool, lots of curriculum, lots of ideas, unit studies, what I'm loving, what I'm hating, all that kind of stuff. So this video is really just kind of like a little update, what our autumn homeschool is like right now. We've got a big change to cover in this video, a whole language arts overhaul. And then I also want to share just like some little things that, that I'm kind of loving right now for our homeschool. So I wanted to start this video out just real quick on a note about my last video. I really just wanted to extend an enormous thank you to all of the support that I received as I just talked through a lot of frustrations with our reading journey for my second grader. I just received so much encouragement, helpful tips, resources, really like similar stories from people who are just going through the exact same thing, and how encouraging, how much encouragement they felt watching my videos. So anyway, I didn't get to all of the comments, but I wanted to say thank you very much for your support and feedback, and your wisdom. I'm just like so happy to have this community, seriously. So, stick around for the end of the video because that's when I'm going to share the kind of major change that our language arts is taking. And in the meantime, I'm just going to share some new stuff that we're up to. So autumn has been, autumn is always, I mean, it's a great time for everybody. Homeschoolers, oh, I just love this time of year and we're really feeling it in the air right now. We're on the central coast of California and we always like to think that September is like our summer, but then you really start feeling fall and it's here. Like the heater has gone on. I think we've had 3 or 4 fires in our living room now. So autumn is here. Last year, I had a really great autumn display that we did. It was like a unit study. We did it for a couple weeks and I was so excited to set that all up again. We studied like foxes and pumpkins and apples and the autumn equinox, harvesting. And it was so darling. I was so sad to take it down. And then I don't know, somehow this year it just didn't go up again. And we kind of took a different turn, but I suppose, you know, we change and we grow, especially in home education. So this year, our autumn homeschool looks a little bit different. On my display shelf right now, I am showcasing our animal unit study. We are technically, I think this week was supposed to be week 3, but, or no, maybe we are on week 2. Anyway, we fell behind a couple days, maybe a week. But the animal geography unit study is going pretty well. I'm excited to share more about that in maybe another video once we get closer to the end. But that's a 7-week unit that we're doing. And then that's usually where I would have my fall display. So I have it set up in our little like calendar station where I am rotating out some great autumn books, like picture books that were recommended from Treehouse Schoolhouse Nature Study. I've been really enjoying going through those book lists. What else? We are rolling our beeswax candles. I have one actually right behind me. We get these beeswax candles from A Child's Dream and they come in all the colors of the rainbow. And so that is always a really nice touch to our homeschool. Although I did almost set our homeschool on fire. Maybe, what was it? Towards like, I don't know, it was towards the end of spring term. And my daughter was a little traumatized. She was like, please don't light candles in the homeschool room anymore. So we don't do it as often as we used to, but everything turned out just fine. Let's see. I would love to know how many other homeschoolers have almost set their homeschool rooms on fire. Anybody? Anybody? And then what else are we doing for autumn? So as you can see, we also have a space. It looks really blank right now because this is where we are going to be putting all of our Treehouse Schoolhouse picture studies that are all very autumn themed and all the autumn colors. And so this wall by the end of the 13 weeks is going to look so beautiful. Right now it's looking a little sparse, but that's okay. I did do the autumn leaf dipping at beeswax dipping activity with Treehouse Schoolhouse, and the kids were not as into dipping the leaves into the beeswax as I thought they would be, but I had a good time with it. So I made the garland. I've never done this before. Is it just supposed to like preserve the leaves? And do I keep this forever? I don't know. But in the meantime, it looks really nice in our homeschool room. One thing that I will bring in right now that's kind of new, and we haven't done much of it. I'm going to try so hard to remember who sent this to me, but a YouTube mom sent it to me last year. And she's like, I would love it if you featured this on your channel. I make these morning basket books, and I have one for September. I'd love to send it to you. We didn't get to it last year, but I found it and decided to start throwing in a few pages of this for our autumn just kind of morning basket. So it's really sweet. It has a lot of like calendar work and then just like what your favorite things are. So it's an opportunity to do copy work and pictures. This was cute today. My kids did their perfect fall sweater. They enjoyed coloring that. Let's see what else is in here. And I've just been pulling sheets out because I have to make copies for my kids since I have more than one. Cozy collage. Here you could just make like a mixed media kind of piece of all like different autumn colors or fabrics or buttons or anything just kind of like textured that reminds you of autumn. Here, the kids could like draw a harvest bounty, all of their, all of like the autumn fruits and vegetables they can think of. Lots and lots of tracing for handwriting practice. There's a reading log back here. I really like this. I think I might actually use this, like make copies of this and use this for my planner next year. But right now I already kind of have a book system. And then I tore these out. We've been doing this. We've just been doing it for the last week. It's a weather chart, so the kids get to color in what the weather is. I thought they would be kind of like bored by this, but they actually like it. And they've been doing it every day. I needed to pull in something because, and this makes me very sad, they are burned out on their monthly planners. My cool notebook planners I got for them that where they could draw a picture every day about what was going to be going on that day or what the weather was or how they were feeling. They got a little burned out on it. I think my daughter says that she's very tired of drawing in homeschool. Do you guys have kids that have said this before? I'm not really that surprised because so much of our curricula has like, okay, narrate this and then draw a picture. I mean, it's like everything, like even handwriting with the good and the beautiful. We use their level 2. I don't know if level 1 is the same way, but they have like, draw a picture of this tree now at the end of your handwriting. And I don't make her do it, but it's just an example of how like every single program we seem to be using makes you draw. So she's a little burned out on drawing, and I really just want her to get more comfortable talking about, the date. So we've been using our wooden calendar where I say, okay, tell me today's date, starting with the day of the week, the month, and then the day. And that's going fine. But they were just so into this because then they could look back and like see what they had done. And my son's little drawings are just so cute. But I think he was getting frustrated because he messed up on his numbers a few times and he would like draw a picture on the wrong day, and he's so finicky. So, excuse me, he was just getting kind of annoyed. I know I'm going to bring these back out soon and we will get back to them because they're awesome. So also just in terms of autumn, I feel like we've just had a lot more conversations around the season than last year. Last year, my kids were young. My son was 3 going on 4. My daughter was 6 going on, was 6, for the entire school year. And so we talked, last year we did the apple equinox, autumn equinox, and we cut the apple in half. Have you done this where you see the star in the middle and the apple, I guess, is the symbol of the autumn equinox? And the star represents like earth, wind, fire, water, and spirit. So we did the apple cutting again this year, and then we did a nature study where we drew or painted or whatever the apples. So that was fun. And then we had a good talk. It was a short discussion, but we had a good talk about the autumn equinox, kind of what it means worldwide, like for different cultures, but how it all just really, collectively represents the time to harvest. We live on a cattle ranch and we do a lot of our own gardening, and we have basically an orchard in our backyard because we have like apple trees and pear and figs and peaches. So the kids are really used to that kind of dialogue, but I just feel like, now that they're getting a little bit older, it's just easier to have these conversations, and it's just like more meaningful, Another big thing for autumn is that we have an annual harvest party, and this will be our, I think, third annual harvest party where we harvest our apples. And I always make a butternut squash soup, like a butternut squash and red lentil soup, and then a homemade apple cider from our homegrown apples. And then I have activities for the kids and stuff, and it's something we really look forward to every year. And it's also going to correlate with our Treehouse Schoolhouse autumn study on apples this week. I kind of changed up the weeks, with the nature study. But so we'll be learning about more apples next week, and then have our harvest party. So that's kind of all I can think of off the top of my head about what's going on with autumn in our homeschool. Let me hit a couple of just curriculum updates. I guess I really don't even have much to say. Not a lot. Well, there's been a major change, but then a lot of the other stuff has not changed. I did go ahead and switch my son to Right Start Math. My 4-year-old, he's doing level A, and we are a solid week into the program, maybe 2 weeks now, and he is just doing great. It's awesome. It's simple for him, but it is solidifying concepts, numbers 1 through 10 right now. And it's just doing it in a way that is so simple and straightforward, but also, creative. I just love Right Start so much. So we have stepped away from the beauty of play. I hope to eventually come back to it just as a supplement because I really love that program, but it was time to just pick something a little more streamlined. My daughter's Right Start is going great. She's flying through level B. We'll be on to level C probably about halfway through the year. So math is always a boring topic for this homeschool, which is awesome. I love that I have something that has not changed because it seems like everything else has over the last couple of years. Another program that is flying right now is my son's pre-writing with the good and the beautiful. He usually sits down with my husband to do this while I'm doing something with my second grader. But the first part of this is just like, oh my gosh, it's just like doodling. It's like, it has purpose, but it's really fun. It's just like drawing shapes, tracing the lines. So he'll usually do like 4 pages of this. He's been flying through it, and now he's on to alphabet letters, which I think he is excited about because he really likes writing. So it's just like, he does a few letters a day. But seeing this now, he's, 2/3 of the way through, I'm going to have to order him the level 1 of the good and the beautiful. I do like the good and the beautiful handwriting. I'm also using it for my daughter. And so I think that we will stick with it for now. Explode the Code. He's flying through level A here. And this is great because it's like, for his core reading curriculum, we're using All About Reading pre-reading. But this is introducing him to a lot more letters at once and sounds. And I think maybe we would be a little bored if we were just doing the pre-reading. It's not like boring. It's fun. It has a puppet and he's loving it. But I do think that he likes kind of this fun workbook stuff. And so I'm glad that we have Explode the Code. I just bring this in once a week. I could probably bring it in a little bit more. But I have the bundle, so that's A. We'll be on to B pretty soon. Couple other little updates. We are going to be moving into our Training Aliens Friday. Yeah, Friday is our first day. So we finished up the safety unit with the good and the beautiful. My daughter was very sad to see that curriculum end. She was like, well, is there another one? Like, is there a number 2? And I'm like, no. And I really don't want there to be. I've talked a little bit about it. It is so chatty. Oh my gosh. The last lesson we did was on gun safety. I mean, it's just these topics, these kids could just go on and on and on, right? It was a fun curriculum to talk about some very serious stuff. So I really appreciated it. We're moving on. Training Aliens is like a character development, emotional development program. I've never used it. We haven't even done one lesson. So I really can't tell you how it's going to go, but it's kind of similar to the safety in that it's just like very discussion based. And I like discussion-based stuff with my kids. It's like, that's why the animal geography unit's going well, because we're talking, we're reading, we're talking about what we're reading. And we're just having like real world conversations, whereas learning to do math and learning to read is not super fun for them. But this kind of stuff is. So this comes with activities too. One of them that I think we do in the first week is like getting over your shyness by, like, we talk about what that means and everything, and it's about these like aliens that come to planet Earth and they're having a hard time adapting, and you are on a mission to help them adapt to being here and being a friendly neighbor. So one of the activities is see how many people you can say hello to like in a week, and you're supposed to color in all of your hellos that you did that week. My kids are actually really into like shouting hello from the car window. Does anyone else's kids like to do that? They like to just shout hello at strangers and see who answers back. So they're going to love that activity. But anyway, I'll let you guys know more about Training Aliens as I get into the lessons. Okay, so we're moving into The Hobbit starting next Monday. This is a nice big fat book. It is just going to be perfect for autumn. I'm really excited about this. I really hope my kids like it. But they're kind of getting into like the whole magical stuff again. Like they watched The Hobbit not The Hobbit. They watched Harry Potter recently. Hocus Pocus, Halloween is here. My daughter's been obsessed with fairies her whole life. So I think that she's really going to take to this. And then I got the Hearth Magic Learning Guide, like family literature guide. It's not so much a novel study as it is like an activity guide. So there's a lot of fun crafts in here, handiwork, artwork, recipes, songs, links to watch, poetry, just tons of stuff. And so what's great is that she basically like just lays it out by chapter. Like, here's all the activities that I've created for this chapter. So it's not like week 1, 5 days a week, do this. It's just like, here are the activities for the chapter. You just pick out what looks good for you and your family. So it's really loosey-goosey. I'm happy about that. And so I will let you guys know how this guide is going, probably towards the end of October. Although I do have it written in our schedule that this might continue through November. I'm going to try not to rush it too much. Okay, so that's just some curriculum updates. And then a couple like new things I'm really loving for our homeschool. We got this game Money Bags, I think towards the end of last year, and we didn't use it yet. I didn't know if my daughter was quite there, but and then I read the instructions and I'm like, oh, okay, we're good. My 4-year-old is even playing this, although he does need help, but it's not a game that you would be frustrated to have to play with a little one, as long as they are really good at counting. He just doesn't know like what the coins represent, or he can't remember that as well. So it's like this game is helping you memorize what your coin values are and then how to make change to $1. And so it's pretty simple, and it was really fun to do with him, even though like I definitely needed to help him out. So I highly recommend this game for learning about your coins. We also, and I'll link it, we also have been listening to a song I found on YouTube. I don't remember what the YouTube channel is. It's got like millions of views, this song, but it's really fun. Oh my God, it will get stuck in your head. But it's all about naming the coin value in a really, really catchy song. So my kids have been obsessed with that. We've been playing it in the mornings, and then they sing it all day long. And then one more thing I wanted to show you that is kind of new that we've started using. I found these timeline stickers on Etsy. So they're not, I mean, it's a printable. So if you wanted it to be a sticker, you would have to use sticker paper, which I did not own. So I will link these. I got these on Etsy, and I just printed them on cardstock paper, so they'd be a little bit thicker. These are going to come in really, they already have. They've come in really handy as we have continued with our American Girl history. These were great, and what we did with them is we added them with some fun washi tape to our history timeline notebook from School Nest. So let me find an example. So here we cut it out and we put it the War of 1812 and then bordered it with the washi tape, you know, again, because I don't have the sticker paper. Here's another cute one. The Lewis and Clark expedition in 1803. So these little pictures are just going to really help solidify the concepts and events that she's learning about in these American Girl books. So this one was American Revolution and George Washington. This washi tape doesn't stick very well. And then finally, before I hit our big language arts change overhaul, I'm just going to say, are these boards the best? These lined whiteboards have been my favorite for copy work. We've been actually bringing in a lot more copy work than I had planned for this school year. And these are great because I can write the words nice and big. My daughter's still, you know, she's learning how to write, my second grader. And then I can put this on a little display on the table and then they can copy it on here. And this is a lot easier than looking at, you know, some small writing in a book to copy work. This has just been, I don't know how I got through last year without this. I've been using this almost every day. In my last video talking about all of like our reading ups and downs, I ended it to say that we were gonna kind of go backwards and get All About Reading 1 for my second grader and just kind of start fresh. I had All About Reading 2. I didn't think she was ready for that yet. So I got a lot of encouragement on that video to just start from lesson 1 with All About Reading 1. What happened? I watched too much YouTube. I was on last Friday night, and right when I was about to go to bed, I came across a video of a YouTuber I'd never seen before, and it was how to use the McGuffey Reader for your entire language arts program. If you've never heard or seen a McGuffey Reader, this is one version of what it looks like. This video is in no way going to be about going through exactly how we're going to be using this. I'm going to make an entirely separate video on how I plan to use this, but I do just want to bring up a couple key points. And I will just say, this woman's video, she had one of these, look how tiny this is, one of these books and a, 39-cent notebook from Walmart. And that's how she taught language arts to her kids. As you guys know, I have a massive stack of language arts components. I have Growing Without Grammar for our grammar workbook work. I have First Language Lessons for our grammar. I have Spelling You See for spelling. We are using The Good and the Beautiful for handwriting that I'm still using. I have this vocabulary words workbook with this dictionary that we've been using. Then, of course, the actual reading program, which I was going to do All About Reading, which, as most of you know, comes with several components. And then, what am I forgetting? Oh, we were going to move into typing with the good and the beautiful. And then, of course, our chapter book read-alouds that I like to pair with these family learning guides. Okay, that's a massive stack. So when I saw a woman using this little book with just a spiral bound notebook, I was very curious. I watched her video and I was like, wow, this really can be such a simple process. Why am I making it so complicated? Okay, so I'm going to say right now, everything I just mentioned, we dropped. I'm not getting rid of it. It's on a shelf. Grammar, spelling, vocabulary, all about reading. It's on a shelf. We have it if we need it. But what I have replaced it with is this. 2 books. 2 books for our entire language arts program. So you're probably like, well, what is this? This is the revised McGuffey's First Eclectic Reader. I bought this off of Amazon. It's just the paperback one. I got it because I didn't really know what I was doing yet. And I'm like, oh, I need the first one. And then I'm like, oh, she's not ready for that. I need the primer. This is called the primer. So I have this. We're not moving into this yet. This will just be on the shelf. This is what we're using. Okay, so what is this? Why does it look like this? After that video got a lot of encouragement and stuff, I had a woman reach out to me on Instagram, and she was so encouraging, and she sent me a ton of links, like resources for readers and stuff, because I was in need of some easy readers for my daughter. So she sent me a link to a free printout of the McGuffey Readers. I had heard of the McGuffey Readers before. I saw watched some of the video of Mary Barfield. She's a homeschool YouTuber that I really like. She switched to the McGuffey Readers with her kids, said that she loved them. I don't know if I had heard of them elsewhere. I might have heard of them elsewhere. And I love Charlotte Mason. This is really Charlotte Mason inspired language arts. But I didn't know about the old language. I didn't know how religious this was going to be. I hadn't seen it really anywhere on YouTube. So anyway, she sent me it and she said, these might be really good readers for your girl. And so I looked at the link and I'm like, oh my gosh, the primer is like exactly where she's at. Like, she's really comfortable reading something like this. And I'm like, lesson, right? What is this? And I asked her, I'm like, can I use this as just a reader and not do the lessons? And she's like, yeah, why not? But then I saw that YouTube video of that woman using it as her whole core thing. All right, so I couldn't fall asleep Friday night, and then I woke up early. I'm like, I've got to research this and find out more about these McGuffey Readers. And so I did what I do best. I put on my blinders for the entire weekend, and I dove deep into McGuffey education. I can't wait to make a video about how we're going to use this, you guys. But I'll just say, because I don't want this to get too long. It's already too long. I did find a link for, I believe I got this one off of, I think it's called The Land of Kakiak. I will definitely link it. She's a big proponent of language arts through the McGuffey Readers, and she created this first reader companion notebook. So the first reader would be the First Eclectic Reader here. My daughter is at a primer level, but she is definitely at a first reader level in terms of like spelling, copy work. She's even doing some dictation. She's writing, So I felt okay going this route for her. But essentially, within these 2 books, we are fully covering reading, spelling, vocabulary, copy work, dictation, narration, grammar, and punctuation. You guys, I just can't believe it. Which really, you could cover all those things in any book, honestly. But this is, I think, a more streamlined way to do it than to just choose any book. This is not open and go. I mean, I was saying I really needed something to hold my hand. I did, and this is going to look crazy because it's got writing all over it, but I did come up, I did this on Canva. I knew that if I was going to do this, I knew I needed to come up with a schedule, 4 days a week. How are we going to use this one book for our entire language arts? And so after watching a bunch of YouTube videos on how moms use the McGuffeys, I did come up with a breakdown of how we're going to incorporate reading, copywork, spelling, vocabulary, grammar, punctuation, narration, dictation, all of this stuff. And we just had our 3rd day with the McGuffey primer, and it was awesome. It's going great. It is slowing things down, but it's also in a way speeding things up. So I'm going to talk more about that when I actually do a proper video on how we are using this. But I'm very excited. I hope that I'm not disappointing anyone too much who was really just like pumped on me using All About Reading. Everyone was like, we can't wait to hear how it goes. All About Reading is the best. I used all 4 levels with my kids. I'm sure it is fantastic, but you guys, it is so much stuff, and it's just reading, all about reading, as it states. So I still would have been using all of these other components, and I think it really, like, even though the first 4 weeks of our homeschool went well, it was becoming too much. And it was making it really hard for me to squeeze in things like our American Girl history and my animal geography unit. This has, like, already this week simplified things so much. So anyway, I'm excited about it. It's probably too soon to even be this excited about it, but anyway, I can't wait to share more with you guys as it evolves. Okay guys, so thanks for sticking around. I hope that you enjoyed that little autumn update here at Crazy Brave Homeschool. As always, I will be back very soon with more content. What do I have coming up? I've got a homeschool room tour coming up. I'm really excited to show you guys what I have planned for our nature study plans this year, specifically the bird unit study that we're going to be doing for about 5 months. And then, I'm excited too about a video I'm going to make on how we are incorporating notebooking and just about all of our subjects. Okay, guys, I will see you soon. Take care.